UX strategy is the intersection between user experience design and business strategy. What it does is it tries to figure out how you can connect the dots between how to make a profitable product or service with how to make an amazing experience for users or customers. And that was my cat, by the way, Lucy. She's from Los Angeles. Hey, Lucy, knock it off. Well, imagine if you worked on a product for a long time or a service for a long time doing the design. And when the product was launched, nobody was interested in it. What satisfaction do you get from that experience? And so if there's a way to de-risk your value proposition of your product or service, then that's the most important reason to do UX strategy, because all the techniques that I certainly have in my book are all about de-risking value props, whether it's creating a persona and using that to create customer interviews that can be validated, or creating a storyboard that can be used as a blueprint for a prototype, or the most important thing that is in my book and in no other books is how to conduct competitive research, UX benchmarking, and competitive analysis. This is a huge gap, I think, for a lot of UX designers, where they don't really understand either how to find the competitors, who they are, and what to look for. Otherwise, they're just looking at comparing the user interface, and it goes so much deeper than that. And so I teach these activities, and because I think if people learn how to be strategic in their design, they have a better chance of being satisfied at the very end when their product is a success. I started using the term wireframe monkey after I did my first discovery phase. During that discovery phase, I got to learn how important strategy was, and that if I wasn't part of the strategic thinking, then I was basically a monkey who was making wires based on somebody else's direction, or based on let's look at what the other products are doing. And so I think if we think that it's okay to just make copycat design, or to just do whatever the project manager tells us without really understanding how it's connected to the entire business model, then we're just a monkey. I think research is absolutely crucial for doing UX strategy. It's a huge part of it because it's our data in for us to really understand the customers or users that we're building the product for. People often say, oh, I understand who my users are and what they want. I don't need to do it. I'm super intuitive. That's bullshit. Or they say, we just don't have the budget. So in my book, I teach very cost-efficient ways how to do user research, whether that be customer interviews based on validating personas, or creating prototypes for validating the value proposition. But the thing with user research, and I even see this right now, I'm working for a fintech company, is they'll go out and do user research on a certain set of customers who are really high up in, let's say, banking, who I really don't know these people. For me to assume I understand their mental model for accomplishing a task is for me to be a super egotistical freak. So it's really important to get face-to-face, whether it's online or in person, and talk to customers and really dig deep, listen hard to what they're saying when they're trying to get a job done, if we're thinking jobs to be done, or accomplish a task if we're thinking about use cases. Because understanding what's in their head will really help us design better products. My UX strategy workshops are geared for two different groups of people. The first group would be UX designers from mid, senior, lead level, UX directors, people who are really interested in figuring out how to be innovative in their design techniques. But it's also geared toward people who are working in startups trying to figure out a product or a service for the market and find product market fit. This upcoming workshop in Vienna, I'm just looking at the spreadsheet here, and we've got project manager, 2 UX engineers, a UX designer, a senior UX manager, not sure what that is, a UX UI design lead, a head of digital and daily banking, a head of digital sales, a senior UX designer, a developer, a UX designer, 2 people who work at the Flughafen, the head of design, and a turtle. The reason that I include my book, UX Strategy in English, or UX Strategie in Deutsch, is because I think it's really important that you have something to take home that's hard copy to refer to while you're doing strategy once you leave the workshop and go back to your office. Another important reason I include the book was because I went to this seminar about 20 years ago when I was a wee UX designer. It was a seminar by Edward Tufte, who was a Yale professor, but he's like the most famous information designer in the world. And I get to the seminar in downtown Los Angeles, and he hands us these 4 heavy books. They're massive. Look at these guys. And while he was doing the seminar, he would, like right at the very beginning, he's like, okay, turn to page 30 and read 20 pages. And I was like, oh my God, I have to read. This is so intense. I feel like I'm in college again. But throughout the seminar, he was pointing to all these different, like how to understand charts, how to like all these really important things for showing qualitative and quantitative data. And when I left that seminar, I knew which books to use when I needed a certain type of information or inspiration. And so later on, when I wrote my book, I thought, oh God, I really want people to use the book throughout the workshop, know what page a particular activity is on, and when they go back to their job, they can use it and it's useful for them.